Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's Pick a Read. The question I'm going to do for this one is there something there? Before I forget, this should be on the YouTube channel, James13 Wicca. I should have something popping up here about that, just so I have that in part. Also, though, this reading is a Pick a Read. Is there something there? You can freeze frame to select them if you want a better look. This is a container. It's a blue container. I usually keep pens in it. It is glass. It's got a little thing here. It's almost like, reminds me of an old-fashioned lantern a little bit. Just a little bit. So there's choice one, this blue container. I'm going to put that back in frame. The second one is going to be this, I want to say it's marble, so like a stone chalice. I'll probably put stone chalice in there. If I turn it around a little bit, you can see that white spot, and then there's, I think it looks a lot better in person than it does on camera, but hopefully you can see whatever works for you. You can see some stuff in there. And the third one is actually half of a salt and pepper shaker. They're carrots, and I just think they're cool. So, but these are all containers. So I figured, like, is there something there? Like, is there actually something in here? Should there be something in here? Same thing with this. Same thing with this. Which is the carrots. Okay. That being said, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into your choice. Hello, this is for those of you who chose the blue container. Is there something there? Also, I just realized I didn't mention the list of the cards and dice, what I'm using, or should be below also, in case you're interested to know that. Okay, so for those who chose the blue container, is there something there? The Seven of Cups is ironic for the first card, because it's also kind of like, what's real? It might be one of those questions for you, like, what's real? I'm looking at something, maybe I'm hopeful, but I'm questioning, is this really going to happen? Is this really something? I feel like I've had dating experiences like that. Like, is this really going to be something, or am I just, dreaming? There's more. No, over here. Okay, so whatever is going on here, it's starting off with a lot of earth, and it's ending with like a different version of earth is what I'm kind of getting here. And earth is very much about stability, something staying where it's supposed to stay, something that can be grown, or it's kind of like when you plant a seed in the ground, if you do well with it and you get it through the rough stages, it can become something beautiful and stabilize and hold for a long time, depending on what you've planted. Like if you plant an elm tree, it gets to a certain point, if the environment is conducive with it, it could last a long time. Versus kind of like a tomato plant, if you're in a climate where it gets cold, it's going to last for a couple seasons, but that's probably going to be it. So the question is, what's being planted here? Is there something here? Is something there? Is something here? You want something to come in. I don't doubt that. You're trying to understand if it makes sense, is what I'm kind of getting. Like, does this even make sense? If this happens, or if something pops up here, does this even make sense? So I feel like some of you are going to come to this like, I don't even know. I just was drawn to the container. I don't know what this is talking about yet. All right, so let's get a little deeper into it. Let's get a little bit more definition. Because it's more about, does something make sense? Does it even make sense if it shows up, whatever this may be? Whatever it is, I feel like you don't want to do it by yourself. Whatever this is, it's kind of like, this is something I don't want all by myself. I would like some help with it, or there's another person I would like to be a part of this situation. It does kind of remind me of myself. It's kind of like, just having anybody there isn't going to make it. And you might be very protective about who you do and do not let into your life. There's just so many toxic people out in the world, not for nothing. It's just kind of like, this might be whatever the situation is, it's got to be the right fit. It's got to be somebody I'm confident with, somebody I feel is a genuinely good person. I don't know why I'm going to add this, but I guess I'm going to. Finding somebody who's genuinely a good person is a challenge enough. And then going into the next level of somebody who's compatible, I just say it. I feel like this feels like a challenge. Like, and for those of you who hit with this situation, it may be like, yep, I found people who are good people but don't match. I found people who are matched but are not good people. Whatever this situation is, it's kind of like I've had some of this, but not the whole thing. I've had some of this, but not the whole thing. So it's kind of like, all right, what do I need to do to get this to work out my way? There's a nervous energy here, kind of like whatever this is. I feel like you maybe hold back and you're like, I don't want to teach a situation to be what I want it to be. I want the situation to literally just be what I want it to be. So it's kind of like, I don't want to meet somebody new like a friend and then try to like give them instructions about what I want from them. I want to see who they really are and just decide if that actually genuinely fits. Whatever the situation is, it could be anything. It could even be a job or some type of like business connection. Maybe you're looking to have a business on your own or make some type of side money. And you're like, yeah, but I don't want something that I'm going to be like, ugh, I got to do that again. Holding the energy back, you do seem to have the urge to start something. It's almost like whatever your life is going on in your life, there's an open pocket, or there's like, maybe not open pocket in the sense of like time. You might not have a lot of time, but it feels like something isn't there, or there's something I want in my life that's kind of like, I'd love to reorganize what's going on here and kind of move things aside and kind of bring down some energies and then put this other thing in here. There's something I feel like should be here that's not here. It's kind of like being a very busy person but feeling like your life is not fulfilling. Kind of like something is literally missing, but it's also like, I can't just throw something in there. It has to be the right fit. And maybe that's what the question is there something there? Make a decision. Can we get a little bit more about that? Because the way this reading has been going, it's coming in with the death card, but it's kind of like, I want to create something. Nothing bad's going to happen by just getting out there and trying. So whatever this is, if it's like bringing somebody into your life, trying a new business venture, looking for a certain property, whatever it may be, the reason this is here is like saying, step forward and put your hat in the ring. You could try a few flavors. You're not committed to anything, but if you don't get your hat in the ring and try, whatever this energy is, it's like there's a vacancy here. There's nothing here, but there could be something in here, and it would add value to your life. This next part, this is an interesting reading to me, because they're saying if you step forward, if you step forward, it's not funny, but it's funny. It's not funny is how I look at it. The King of Cups reverse shows up, and then this lock and key here, which it says, take control of your thoughts. Somebody's going to try to mess with you. This is somebody who doesn't actually have power over you unless you allow them to have power over you. So I don't know, take it with a grain of salt. There's readings for entertainment purposes only. It's a general read, so you decide what's right for you and what's not. I'm getting whoever this is going to try to control you. They don't have actual power over you, but it's up to you to put that key into the lock and turn it and go like, oh, no. This isn't how this works. And just because you have like this moment where it's like, oh, somebody's trying to keep me under control and somebody's trying to push me back, don't let this energy like flub you up. Okay, that's not for me. Or maybe somebody's reminding you, oh, you know, blue container person, didn't you try this before and you fell flat on your face? Like, how many times do you have to fall flat on your face? That's not their business. Don't let them control. That's them controlling you. That's them trying to hold you back. You want to do this. Step past that energy. I keep getting something, whatever this is, I almost feel like somebody's like berating me. Kind of like, oh, haven't you tried that before? That's never worked out, has it? You're going to waste more money on that. You're going to waste more time on that. You're going to give people a chance and you know that you're never going to find what you want. Like something like that. Somebody just, I feel like, is really negative towards you. Step around it. I'm a big fan of Paul McKenna. The book is How to Mend Your Broken Heart. Highly recommend that if you're struggling with this energy, because I feel like a lot of us do. If you get past that moment, things stabilize. Don't get caught up in the gender. But I get like, then it goes into the energy of like, all right, you know what, that is what that is. What do I actually want? What do I actually want to bring in? What do I want to actually create for my life? I know that I want to do whatever it is. Maybe I want to start a business. Maybe I want to bring in a romantic interest. Maybe I want more of a social connection. I want more friends. Whatever it may be. And it's kind of like, all right, how can I imagine this happening? If it was going well, if I was in a place in life where I felt like it was going well, what would this look like? If it was a business, how would my day-to-day look like? How often would I do it? You know, would I have people helping me? How would I connect to my customers? That one way. If it's a bigger social thing, what type of social arena would I like to be in? Do I want to be where I'm chatting a lot? Or do I want it something where, you know, I add in when I feel like it? Do I want to stay over to the side and just like be a part of events when I want to? Stuff like that. And same thing, I'm going to go here. If it's a romantic interest, do I want somebody who's kind? Do I want somebody who, you know, is self-sufficient? Do I want somebody who works with me and we build maybe something together? Maybe you want somebody to come into your life and do other things like be very social and create a business with you. Like, what are you looking at? There's a moment here where it's kind of like, what type of person do I want? If you're going the romantic thing. And I feel like it's the easiest way to give this information if you look at the romantic version of it. This also applies to like the business or social as well. The more you define it with, if you know, if you're gonna burn me in the comments over it, you're gonna burn me in the comments over it. Frivolous details. I call them frivolous details, but if it's rotten, I don't mean it to be rotten. But like when you're looking for somebody as a partner, if you're like, oh, I want them to have red hair down to their shoulders. It's got to be straight. I want them to have green eyes. They got to have this type of build. They got to be this height. They have to have this type of family, this type of job. Like, those are frivolous. All of those are actually frivolous things, in my opinion. But if you center it kind of like quality of character, they got to be somebody who's willing to work with me, like work in a complimentary way to me. They got to be kind. Maybe you want somebody who's generous. Maybe you want somebody who's intelligent. Like, those are good things to go towards if you're going to, like, even like a business thing. Like, what type of business do you want to be a part of? Do you want something where you deal with people who are cranky? Think about that. What type of business are you thinking about? Or you want people who are in a good mood? If you're like, well, they're going to be cranky because of this is the type of business. How do you see that going your way? How do you see yourself creating a business? Like, there's one lady I work with now and then. She does something with people who are making better of their lives. Without getting too detailed. People who have had a rough time of it and they're making better of their lives. So it's kind of like, how can I create this business when they come to me, they're in like more of a uplifting or realizing that I'm here to help them and they're going to work with me to help me work with them energy. Like, how do I see that playing out? Now, I've gone on about that for like a good minute, in my opinion. There's a danger with this. Be careful not to talk yourself out of trying. It's a real danger here. You could end up talking yourself out of trying. Just be aware of it. Whatever this is, you can have it, but it's stepping forward to the next level. This seems to be, it could be a situation where the point is there is something there. There's definitely something there, but you might sidestep it and be like, you might just talk yourself out of it. Something you can have, but you have to stay fully engaged to make it happen. This is not something that's going to be guaranteed to happen, is what I'm getting. If you decide to keep moving forward, there has to be tangible steps, like something in tangible reality. Even if it's like writing something down, researching something to find out what more is going on here in reality. So in any of those, like a business, like searching out, how does the business work? How does this business work? How would I do this? How would I do that? That could be the research part. you know, social things, doing the same thing like that, trying to find people to date if you're looking for the romantic thing, whatever it may be. It's taking physical, tangible things like, you know, getting out there and actually just trying, putting your energy out there. Doesn't mean you have to bet the farm on it, but just like try some stuff on it. Try some stuff in that direction. That will keep you going. Fear may hold you back. Be careful. When you're starting to get nervous and you're like, oh, I don't know. Give yourself a minute to breathe and just look at the fear and like, what's real about this fear? So like when people date other people, oh, what if I find an evil troll? Maybe they look nice on the outside, but they're really just evil on the inside. Give yourself some credit. Pay attention to what's going on. If you seem to get nervous around this person, nobody says you have to stay for the full date. Make sure you have people who know where you are. You know, I'm one of those people. I've done it a few times in my life where I just drive my own. I'm like, how about we just meet here and I'll meet you there. Well, I'll meet you there. We'll have dinner or whatever. If I'm uncomfortable, that's something that I do. Stuff like that. Set it up so that it's at your advantage. If you have something that's making you nervous, step back and like ask yourself, what is making me nervous? And how can I work around that? Maybe you have some people in your life you could like bounce ideas off of. Stuff like that. Online communities, there's a lot of online communities out there. Even if you don't think you have the social support close to you, find an online community. I think Reddit has a lot of those things. You might be surprised at like the information. I'm also going to add this. If you choose something like Reddit, be aware that some people are mean there. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. If some people answer you, step back and like, does that make sense? Would you say that to somebody else? Think of it in that direction. Just take it with a grain of salt. I feel that with Reddit a lot. Sometimes I have to step back and be like, would I say that to somebody that I care about? Like, would I say that to somebody who mattered to me? And like, if I'm like, I wouldn't say that. That doesn't sound right. You know, take it with a grain of salt, whatever, if you're going down those avenues. That's all I'm saying. Stepping forward, though, and working through the fear and taking it apart and bringing it down to reality will bring you your Ace of Pentacles. Whatever this is, there is something there, but it's not going to be like, boom, it's just there, magic. Not like you win the lottery. I don't feel like it's a win the lottery type situation. This is a planting a beautiful seed, like for an elm tree. And as the years keep going and as the years keep progressing, it gains it more and more value and more beautiful things in your life. What does this say? Someone new is coming. Even if you're not doing the romantic thing or the social thing, there are new people coming into your life if you go down this road. If you take this path, there will be new people coming down your path, and that you will meet new people. You will have a new social connection one way or another. It's going to grow slow but steady with the situation. I don't know why that showed up at the end, but there you go. It's interesting because I knew the Ace of Pentacles was showing up. I could see it there, but like there's also a social aspect with it. So that's very interesting. Whether you're looking for that social aspect or not. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Hello, this is for those of you who chose the Marble Chalice. I think I'm going to call it the Marble Chalice. We'll see what it ends up in. Might end up as the Stone Chalice. Is there something there? Also, the information for the decks and the dice I'm using, that's below. I forgot to mention that in the beginning, so we'll throw it in here. The question, is there something there? Let me move that over there. Is there something there? Is there? Let's get the cards down before we go too far here. Okay, so I am kind of getting the question mark, is there something worth fighting for? Is that partly what this is? Take it with a grain of salt if that fits for you or not. Is there something worth fighting for? It's part of it. with this one, since it's a chalice, it makes me think like it has a lot to do with emotions and how you feel about something and what you're hoping might be true or you're hoping could happen. It's kind of like, I'm hoping, but does this make sense? I feel like a lot of this has to do with where things have been. And is there something there is more about you've been waiting and you've been working with something and thinking it would develop. This could be a job. I thought this might develop into another career opportunity. Or maybe it's you're getting to know somebody and you thought this friendship might go somewhere else. You maybe thought could go somewhere romantic, or maybe we would get closer. It doesn't have to be a romantic thing, just to be fair. Maybe you're interested in a certain situation. You thought maybe you could create your own business from it. And the question here I keep getting is, due to where I've been, does it make sense where I want to go? Is there something there? I know what I have. I feel like for those of you this is going to hit with, there's already something there. And it's kind of the question mark. If I try to move this forward, is that going to hold water, or is this going to not make it? Be it relationship, business opportunity, whatever you're thinking of. It seems like there's a history or some type of foundation. Like, can I make this go somewhere? Can I take this somewhere? Is it worth fighting for? I have like 5 cards that fell out. And I'm really curious about... One of them came right side up, or, showed the picture, I should say, which is the Sun card, but it's upside down, which is still really good. The other 4 are face down, and it's really driving me nuts. Keep open to the possibilities. Get out there and fight for it. The first thing is, like, fight for it. I feel like for those of you this is going to hit with, I don't think that's, like, advice. I feel like that's more like probably how you're already handling it. You're trying to get out there and see if this really is going to hold water. You're trying to get more information. It doesn't have to be a physical fight. It could be an information fight. Trying to get, the reason to believe in this. I feel like the situation is a little fragile at the moment, too. Kind of like, I don't want to push forward and force things forward and end up damaging things. I get that, too. Okay. I don't want to damage things. I definitely don't want to damage things. That is very curious. This reading, I would say, doesn't really have good cards or bad cards. It depends on what you're dealing with. They have those cards. Like, this is one of those things where whatever the situation has been doing, it seems like there's more of the same down the road. So if you've been working on building a business, for example, whatever's been happening up to this point looks like it's going to continue on forward. So if you've had little growth by little growth, there's little growth by little growth. That seems to be the current attitude. I don't know. I mean, we're getting a little farther down here. If this has something to do with business, it makes me feel like things are just kind of staying where they're staying. It doesn't feel like the door is opening, right? And not at this point. This is the current weather I'm dealing with. And maybe this is why I'm kind of questioning it. Or like you could be dating somebody and you're like, are we going to go to the next level? Not in the foreseeable future is what I'm kind of getting. But also the question mark, all right, maybe not this, maybe when I say foreseeable future, maybe like the next 6 to 8 months, just to be fair-ish. But it's kind of like, all right, but does that mean it's not going to do it at all? Or does it mean just not for now? And I'm questioning that. It might be a big piece of this. There's a wait for, okay. There's more coming to you. There's more coming to you. One of the reasons there might be a little bit of a weird energy with this situation, and it's kind of like I'm trying to understand if it's worth moving forward, even if I can. This is all face down. You got the Knight of Wands, the 2 of Cups, which is a very positive card, the 8 of Wands, which is speed, usually travel speed, something coming in very fast, and then the 5 of Cups behind it, kind of hidden, which if I can, is that you? That's you. This one. There's something coming in that's going to cause disruption. can cause disruption. The question mark is, if it causes disruption, is that for or against you? Is that going to make your situation better, or is it going to make your situation worse? I don't think it's going to be benign. I feel like it's either this situation comes in and it's either going to shake things up, and it's either going to get better or it's going to get worse. I don't see it just staying the same. Especially with the Sun card reversed is telling me something really good is about to happen with this situation, but it may not feel like it when it first shows up. If you're dating somebody, for example, and things are just, I just don't know where it's going. I don't know if it's going to go forward or not. I don't know if they really want to or not. It just seems like at the moment it doesn't seem like things are changing. This card, the way I would say this is like somebody else might catch your interest and somebody else might show interest in you. And it's kind of like, oh, that's a little messy. Do I want to stop seeing who I currently am seeing because I don't know that it's going to go anywhere and then give this other person a shot? Or do I want to ignore that opportunity? And this could be a little messy. Because when that Five of Cups shows up, I feel like I'm upsetting or I could be upsetting somebody with this new arrival. But it comes in really fast and it might be worth it. This does not have to be romance. This could be business. This could be a business opportunity where maybe I feel like I'm bonded in with people. People are expecting certain things. But there's something else like, I could go do this. And this is going to make these people very unhappy with me if I do that. But do I think that's worth the chance? So it doesn't have to be romance, even though that Two of Cups is there. And we got that one card with the heart on it. Open your heart. Kind of... It doesn't have to be romance. I can understand why some people would go that way. You don't have to. Whatever the opportunity is that's coming in for this situation, be it a person or situation, whatever it is, it's got long-term goals in mind. This is like somebody new coming in. I'm feeling I got that with the Knight of Wands. I get that with this. I get that with the Two of Cups with the Eight of Wands backing it up. Something new. Something. Doesn't have to be a literal person, but something new with long-term possibilities is coming in. This isn't just for a night or two. This isn't a quickie. This is let's think about where we in our lives to go together. So if it's a romantic thing, somebody has long-term ideas. If it's a business thing, people want you to work here or whatever. People want you to be a part of the situation, but they want to anchor you in. They want you to stay for decades. Maybe like one of those things. Which, if this reading is hitting, I would research that if that seems to be true and just see if it actually is true. Like I would research it. I wouldn't just take just take it with a grain of salt, get in there, dig it up a little bit. Does that really hold water? And if it does or doesn't, do you want that? That's a clear thing. The Sun card upside down is telling me things are good. It just may not seem. It's almost like an overcast day. It's kind of like a beautiful day, but maybe it's a little windy. It's still beautiful. It's just kind of like there's some distractions here that maybe would have you be like, I don't know if this is actually good. It is, but you may have a hard time really equating it that way in the beginning for the way it's playing out. Whatever this is coming in, the possibility is to look at it and to like really make up your mind. Does this have the potential to bring the happiness I want into my life? Person, situate, whatever it may be for you. Does it really have that potential? There's a concern here. Perfection is a construct, right? Like perfection, in my opinion, it depends on how you view it. Like, for example, me having a gathering with my family, if everybody gets together, nobody's mean to each other, we have some good food and we go home, that's perfect to me. That's perfect to me. That's my level. That's like my standard of perfect. So that's why I'm saying perfect as a construct. I believe, to me, that like some people have a very rigid version of perfect. Like I remember I had a teacher in high school that like refused to give 100 on any test because the reason behind was he said nobody's perfect, so he refused to give 100%. That was his standard. So like it depends on your standard of perfect. I mean, it's a construct. That's my point. Um, be careful not to be too rigid with this. You might just like block yourself out of an opportunity if you're super rigid with it. Like, well, you know, the moon didn't hit his eye like a big pizza pie, so I guess not. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's this other path. If this opportunity is going to work, it's not going to be the easiest path. But they're saying with this regain your focus card, if this, even though it might not be the easiest path, will it bring you where you actually want to go? How long have you been waiting to get where you want to go? I'll use this in two different ways. If it's a business situation, have you been trying to move up the ladder for, who knows, years, decades maybe? Who knows? And it just always just kind of eludes you. If you go this direction, how much does that improve your chances to get where you actually want to go? Does it look like it's a better chance to go with that to get where you want to go, or just stay where you are? Because the current energy is kind of like what you've been getting is what you're going to continue getting. Does this new energy seem to have new possibilities, new opportunities? If we're going to go the romance route, is the person you're with just comfortable? Or do they excite you? Does the one coming in, same thing, do you think you could be just comfortable with them, or would they excite you? What's the reality of that? If they excite you, do you feel things are stable and going to stick that way? I feel like for the romance one, that one's kind of hard, because I feel like some of you are going to be like, well, they're new to me, so of course they excite me. But like, I would look deeper into their personality. Are they somebody who likes to go out and socialize? Are they funny? Are they active? Like, are there people in their life where you can kind of be like, oh, this is their normal personality. They're always out there having fun. No matter what's going on, they're always bubbly. They're always trying to have a good time. Life isn't perfect for them, but you know, they try to make the best of it. If they're always active, they're always going here, going there. Do I like that? Versus the person I'm with now, are they kind of like, you know, once in a great while we go out and do something, but they don't like to do it too much. Most of the time we spend at home watching TV, which some people like that. That's not a bad thing. It's just, does that match the energy you want, or vice versa? That's what we're looking at here. Regain your focus is kind of like, as I say, regain. Yeah. If this person that's exciting to you in this moment, do they have characteristics of their personality where you're like, if those personality traits are real and I can kind of see that they are real, is that what the type of person I'm looking for if we're going to go down that road? It's going to take a little bit of a little gumph to move forward. If you choose the new path, I cringe that I'm going to say this. You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. I don't know. You decide what that means for you. You decide if that's right or not. Because you get to decide how you break the eggs, not for nothing. You know, have you seen people break eggs? Some people use a knife and crack it on the side. Some people crack it on a bowl. Some people crack eggs against themselves. Some people can smack them on the table and crack it with one hand. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I'm just saying. But it's like you're gonna have to break some eggs to make an omelet. So how you do that is completely in your control, not for nothing. If you decide to take that, embrace the moment, and strength is kind of like, there's gonna be some breaking of some eggs. Is there something there? We're coming back. I almost feel like we're coming back to like what you really want. Whatever this situation is, I feel like it maybe what I'm sticking with, be it a job or a person or whatever it is, I feel like the main question is, if I stick with this job or person, is that going to go somewhere? Is there something that's going to happen here that makes it worth it for me? It's ironic that they're giving you an alternative, because the end part of this reading is saying, what you have now is what you're going to keep. So whatever you currently have is what's going to stay. I don't see it going any farther. But they also have this card here saying, like, whatever's going on here, if you're asking that question, is there something there? The answer might be not enough to keep your interest, not enough to keep you here. How much longer it lasts is up to you, but you might be the one making that decision anyway at some point. This next opportunity coming in might be the one for you, might not be. but there's one coming in. And if you don't want that, it's just like, I feel like the point is to be loyal to you. If you say no to this opportunity coming in, as long as you're saying no because you're like, no, I just don't want that, that's cool. If you're saying no to it because you're like, there's a fear reflex, or you're like, yeah, but I've been with this situation for X amount of time, so I feel like that's not right. I'm getting with the almost over and things not moving forward. Sooner or later, it's going to end anyway. So might as well, if it's going to end, like, and you, I feel like for the people this is going to hit with, you know if this makes sense or not. If it's going to end anyway, it might as well end in your favor when it does. So if it's going to end anyway, why not end it when it's in your favor? Especially if it's a romance thing, which I hate to say, because I feel like for those of you that it's a job connection, I don't think it's as hard. I could be wrong. But for those of you in the romance situation, you're like, you're not looking to hurt people's feelings. And yeah, it's understandable, but at the same point, if it's going to fall apart at some point, like, why delay the inevitable? If it looks like it's going that way, and I feel like for those of you, it's going to go down that road for. I feel like you already see it if it's headed that way anyway. So, okay, I think we're done. We're good. We're done. We're good. We're done. We're good and done at the same time. Okay, I'm gonna shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4 astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Excuse me. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Hello. This is for those of you who chose the carrots, which is actually the half of a salt and pepper shaker. Also, the information on the decks and dice are below. I forgot to mention that in the very beginning, so I wanted to throw that in here. Let's get into your question. Is there something there? Whatever you're looking at, like, the question is there something actually there? This is a very curious start. All right. Let's get all the way there before we get... Oh my gosh. Okay. It's good, whatever. There's good energy here. Something is getting out of your way. It's something that hasn't... Okay, let's get a little... Like, I want to jump ahead. I'm excited. I love this card. It's one of the best cards in this deck. I think it's very pretty. Change is coming. Hopefully you want that change. Hopefully you want that change. Is there something there? I feel like the knee-jerk reaction, I want to say, yeah, there actually is. It seems to be very... Like, you got this at the bottom. It's the Page of Swords, which is more of an observant energy. More of a waiting and wanting and watching. Which is kind of like... It doesn't feel like it's... How do I explain this? It's kind of like if there's something there... Why isn't something happening? Why isn't something happening? If something is really there, why isn't something happening? Let's roll the dice on that, right? Let's find out. It's coming. Okay, I know. It's coming. Be careful with this. You could end up blocking it. If you want this, be careful with this. You could end up blocking it. There is something there, though. Free will is a real thing. Currently, the block is lifting. We got the Two of Swords. Is it down here? But the way it's coming in it's not down here. I thought it might be. Two of Swords, when it's like this, it's kind of like either the block is lifting or the block is going into place. It doesn't usually stay like that. It's when somebody's kind of like on the ground and they're either like, they're done, or they have to get back up. And I get that the block is lifting. It's in the process of lifting. There's truths that need to come forward that will come forward in pieces. So you will find out why this situation kind of went into its lag, because I feel like something here lagged. It feels like there's a lag here, like just like a... The truth will come forward in pieces as necessary. whatever necessary. I don't know, because it might be a confidence builder for whatever this is. This doesn't have to be romance. This could be business. This could be anything. This card is here, though. The Lover's card is here, which could just mean that you really want whatever this is. You also got the Knight of Cups here, which also could just mean the offer is waiting to come in, but there's something about a block slowly lifting, energy trying to come in, energy trying to build up. It seems to me that there's already something to like build from. Six of Pentacles, but it comes in like this, and then the Moon card kind of like this. Like there's more mystery than reality. There's more mystery than truth. There's more mystery than fact. There we go. Finally got there. There's more mystery than fact here. And there's the give and take isn't quite balanced, or it hasn't been balanced up to this point. Give and take has not been balanced. There's some mystery here. There's more mystery than fact. What's really going on? I'm not upset about it, but there's a lag. And I get that whatever this is, something is returning, ironically. Because the lag, when I see the lag, what's ending the lag is this, which, so like something might have pulled the energy away from you for a while, and like you're what this person or situation is returning to, because this is like walking away from something. I don't think that's what's going on in the sense of like, I don't think you're being walked away from. I think you're being walked to. Something caused a lag. So like if you were if this was a dating thing, maybe somebody showed some interest and it seemed like you were going to start something here, and then they just kind of faded to the side for a while. Whatever was getting their attention, I feel like they kind of saw it for what it really is. Something here is telling me, I've seen this happen, and this can be very insulting to people, so I gotta be careful with it. Maybe somebody else, they're like, oh, I think this person's a better match for me. And this other person is getting their attention, doing whatever they can do. Sometimes people use unscrupulous means to get somebody else's attention, whatever that means. Just take it with a grain of salt. And then when they're around that energy for just enough time, they're like, oh, wait, this is totally not the flavor I was looking for. It reminds me of somebody who's very nice when they're getting to know somebody, but then when they feel like they have this person in their grasp, then you start seeing like the more sharp edges of their personality, and it doesn't work. It's kind of something like that going on here. It could be as simple as they just thought somebody might be a better interest. Maybe they didn't think you were that interested, so they moved on, if it's romance. But I feel like they're kind of like, whatever that was, that's like, no, that was the wrong match for me. And they're gravitating back towards you because you stick in their brain, and they're like, maybe I should give that a chance again. Maybe there's more to build there. This doesn't have to be romance. And I know, yes, the Lover's card is there. This could be a business situation where maybe you were interviewing for a position and then you got passed up. And then whoever they filled with that position, maybe some people are regretting it, kind of like, we should have gone with the carrot person. We shouldn't have gone with the person we went with. The opportunity might be returning very soon. Are we good? That block is releasing. Okay, so I understand that. What do we need to say? Because there's something about the block releasing that I feel like they're trying to make a point with. You're trying to get forward. Action isn't happening. Like, it's not happening in little, I don't know. When it's ready to move forward, it's like, here we are. It reminds me of like a stuck valve. It's kind of like you can't get it to move, and it seems like it's starting to, but it's not, and then all of a sudden it's like, there it goes, and it's open. And it's like, there goes all the water. It's releasing, but like, I don't think you're seeing the effects on your side. That's the problem. I think that's what's bothering me. It's like if you're dealing with another person or situation, that energy is starting to let loose and starting to come loose, but you're not seeing it on your side yet. That's work going on over here that you're not seeing where you are. Okay. Because I'm kind of like, if it's starting to loosen up, shouldn't you see something? They're like, no, not yet. No, it's happening behind the scenes. Okay. Um, if this reading is hitting at the right time, hopefully, I'm going to do some dice on this before I say this part too. Because it's meant to empower you. It's meant to help you get in the right place for you to decide what you do or don't want to do with this. That's the point of it. This situation, it does seem to be a builder, a grow, a slow start, and it just kind of gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. It's like going from 0 to 60, but like, I hate this analogy. That was annoying. You're trying to get up to 60 miles an hour, but you kind of go up 5 miles an hour every 5 minutes. So it's like every minute you go up a minute or a mile an hour. So it takes you a whole hour to get up to 60 miles an hour. But it gets there. That's how this feels when it finally does, which is confusing to me because they're showing me the gates opening with the water, but your connection to it, it's like you're slowly getting into it. And it's kind of like if it was a business situation or a romance situation, whatever it is, the way you're getting up to speed, you are really locking into this. You're seeing all the angles because especially in the beginning, it's just moving so slow. You're learning a lot, which is making you a lot stronger in this situation. It's making you more of a front runner than a supporter. Whatever this is, you're going to be more of a front runner than a supporter. I don't know if you were planning that or not, but the way it's building, you're going to have what you need behind you to not only get where you want to be, but to stay there and have the backup you need to keep it. So they're giving a lot of different dimension here with this, in my opinion. And they're saying, even though the block is lifting, and I'm thinking maybe that's over time, it's slowly even more and more is like letting loose and you're getting deeper and deeper into the situation, be it business, romance, whatever you got going on. They're backing it up with this Ace of Pentacles, and what I explained is kind of how the Ace of Pentacles works. The elm tree is the easiest way to describe it. You plant the seed for the elm tree. If it gets through those initial stages, every year it gets that much stronger and that much stronger and that much bigger and that much taller. And by the time 10 years has passed, you have a really beautiful tree. I think it's 10 years anyway. Depending on what you want from the tree. I guess we'll go with that. If you don't want it, you clearly don't have to have it. There is this energy that you might be bothered by how the situation is played out, which is totally your business. But if you're really bothered by it too much, you'll shut it down. Which is, if you want to shut it down, okay, that's no problem. No harm, no foul. Their question here to you is like, do you want to shut this down? If you willingly are like, no, I'm just done. All right, then you are. But it's kind of like, they just don't want this to like default shut down on you. If you want to shut it down, yes, great. Shut it down, not for you. But like the default mode is kind of like you're screwing yourself. Do you really want this and you're just upset with it? If you are upset with it, go within and like, what's upsetting you and how do you rectify that? Is that able to be rectified? You might go within and go like, okay, I want to make peace with this so I can take this or move forward with this. But when you really work on it, you're like, no, this actually isn't acceptable for me. That might, by going within, you might decide, you know what, this isn't for me. As long as you actively choose, you'll be okay. Because it could get stuck. The situation could get stuck if you have hurt feelings about something or if something doesn't sit with you right. They're just saying work through those feelings and just make your decision. It may be a no-go for you, and that's okay. But like defaulting it out, it's going to cause more damage down the line. That's what I'm getting. If you do decide that this is for you, you're meant to be a front runner. I keep getting that. So you're meant to be a front runner. You're kind of in the control part of the situation. You're going to build up to it. You may not start there, but you'll build up to it. You got a lot of independence here and a lot of, I do feel like a lot of control, but a lot of care. It doesn't mean you have to take on the weight of the situation yourself the whole way there, but there's a lot of like, for example, if you're going into a job, having the control and having what you want, it might be like, I used to do this, like I did this at least one job, maybe more than one, I don't remember how many times I did it. But when somebody would explain things to me, I would try to take notes as if I was never going to have a chance to talk to this person again. And I would do my best to take notes so I could recreate this moment again on my own. Like as if, you know, they were going away, far away, I was never going to see them again, and this job was dependent on me doing it right and knowing how to do it the next time. Which I feel like for some people, they're like, well, that's how I take notes anyway. Other people are like, oh, well. Some people just like jot down things and they go back to their notes and they're like, wait, why did I put that there? I've been that person once or twice. But they're saying whatever this is, realize that, you know, the more independent you are with it, the stronger you're going to be with it, the more you're going to get what you want. You being more independent in this situation, even if it's a romance situation, like knowing what you want, knowing where you want to go, will help bring a lot more abundance to this situation. Knowing what you want and knowing where you want to be. Trusting yourself and trusting your intuition about what you want from this situation. Also, part of this might be, whatever the situation is, especially if it's romance, maybe somebody got sidetracked and they went and dated somebody else for a little while and now they're coming back. If that's something that you can't get over, address it and let it go. If that's something you're like, all right, you know what, you didn't know me that well. Maybe there were some misconceptions. Maybe you didn't think we were going to match that well. Maybe somebody else did something flashy and you thought that was better for you, but you learned your lesson. Were we committed at the time? Were we exclusive at the time? Do I feel like that's a cheating situation if it's romance? Because if it's something like you feel like it was cheating, that may be something you can't get over. Just it's for you to answer, not for me to answer. I'm just saying. Look at it a little closer. Know your truth on this situation. If it's a business situation, does it bother you that they chose somebody else the first time around? Do you feel like they don't see your true value? Do you think that actually they see more of your actual value now than they did before? Do you think they learned the hard way? Sorting out your feelings. How do you really feel about the situation? Is there anything residual here that's holding you back or making you upset? I keep getting that. Like, make sure you sort that out for your own happiness, because if you don't sort it out, it will rear its ugly head later. So it could actually, you could get down this road, things could start getting really good, and all of a sudden that snaps back into focus, and it could cause you damage where you don't want it. This situation, is there something there? Yes. Whatever it is, yes, there is. You have the potential to have exactly what you want here. 10 of Cups with the stay the course. Once you hit that level, it's more than likely you're going to keep that level. This is a general read. Is there anything I'm supposed to... I just feel like this... Like I feel like I've been saying that the whole time, but maybe not. Once it's... Whatever it starts with... Whatever it starts with, that's what it's going to be. So, like... This reminds me, I can do a couple different things. If it's a business situation, you're going into a new job. In the very beginning, as you're learning the job, if you are more independent, you'll be expected to stay independent and you'll be allowed to be independent. If you're more dependent on others and people get used to you being dependent on others, they're going to keep you there. They're going to you're going to have a really hard time getting out of it. However you build this is the way it's going to stay. Same thing with the relationship. I feel like I've said this to a lot of people over the years because I do a lot of these readings. When you're starting a relationship, if you're tripping over yourself, doing everything you possibly can for this person, where they don't have to do the dishes, they don't have to cook, they don't have to clean up after themselves, and you go get their gas for their car, you're constantly tripping over yourself, it's going to create this expectation. That's not really a good way to do things, in my opinion. You got to do what you think is right. You want to have a balance right from the get-go. You do some nice things for them, give them a chance to do nice things for you, whatever that may mean for you. You want to create that expectation, kind of like, maybe you go visit them at their place and you kind of tidy up a little bit. And then when they come to your place, you kind of like maybe drop some hints. Yeah. Oh, I love it when people help me clean up my place. Just you drop a couple little heavy hints. I'm just one of those people. I'm like, you said it in the very beginning, and I'm getting that with this situation very hardcore. You set the expectations right in the beginning. Don't trip over yourself to make something more than it is. This does, if we're going to slingshot back to the business side, I've seen people do the same similar behavior with work situations where they trip over themselves and they just want people to like them. They want management to like them, and they just drive themselves crazy and burn the candle at both ends. And then they just start expecting it. They expect, when you don't do that, they hold it against you. Don't go into this at a run if you don't want to run your whole life away. Don't sprint the whole thing. Don't start sprinting if you don't want to sprint for your whole life. Go into it like this is a long run. What do I want from this run? What type of payback do I want from it? I'll put in this. I want this back. Like, start that right in the beginning, because I'm getting, however this starts, however it grows, that's what it's going to be the whole time. I feel like that's a big part for those of you this is really hitting with. If this reading is like nailing it, that's like a big part of this. They're like, yeah. Set it up correctly. Set it for the way you want it to be. Don't break yourself in two trying to impress somebody. Set it up the way you want it to be. Just be careful that you do that. Start right off the beginning. I want even Stevens. I want somebody who's going to help me. I just saw a video of somebody, this lady, I think her name is Shauna. She's very entertaining. But she showed me, like it was one of her videos showing how her partner had gotten used to clearly not doing a lot of the housework and the stuff and maintaining the living space, which I saw that and I cringed in my mind, because I'm like, people get used to that, and unfortunately it's not fair. And like, getting used to that in the beginning that's how those things happen, I feel, because the other person, she might have been one of those people who maybe in the beginning she was okay with it. That's still not good. Even if you're okay doing everything in the beginning, I'm saying you should still think about, like, there's going to be a point in your life where you're not going to like that. Always divide it out. Always kind of get the other person up to speed. Get them used to doing half of the stuff so you're not doing it. Because when I saw her play that out, and I was like, that happens to a lot of people, where they take care of this, they take care of that, they do this, they do that. And maybe 90% of the time they're okay with it. But if they realize, if they're sharing these responsibilities 50-50, they would have other things to do in that time. They could socialize, or they could do their own projects. They could do their own interests. They could have other opportunities. It's getting that in the very beginning where you want it to be, and not just letting it be lopsided from the start and being like, well, I guess it's not that bad. It will be at some point. I'm just saying. Hopefully that made sense. I'll get off the soapbox now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.